One of the most important decisions you can make for your business is who it is that you most want to help. Who represents an ideal client for what it is that you sell? Because the reality is, regardless of what we sell, whether it's consulting, coaching, services, software, etc., we are not meant to help everyone. There is a certain type of client who is the best fit for what it is that we can provide, and that we can, with a high degree of certainty, get some really good results for. And so the clearer that we can get on defining who represents an ideal client for our business, the better job we can do at creating marketing campaigns and creating content that helps to attract and ultimately acquire clients who fit that criteria. And so in this video, I'm going to walk you through how to create an ideal client profile using a template that I created and that I've been using with my clients for the past 5 or 6 years. So you can actually grab the link to the template that I'm about to show you in the description section of this video. But before I share my screen and walk you through this, I just want to caveat this by saying that if you're newer in business, you may have to go through some trial and error. Like you might have to take on some clients that you thought would be a good fit, but it turns out they weren't, and you start to learn the red flags of somebody who you don't like working with, or the industries that you can't actually get the best results for, and you start to hone in on who is the best representation of your ideal client strictly by going through that trial and error process. I know that was the case for me. It took me probably 2, maybe 3 years of working with clients, helping a few dozen clients from a handful of different industries before I got super clear on who I most enjoyed working with and could get the best results for. And so that might be the case for you as well. Now, if you've been in business longer and you have this track record of clients that you've helped, you can probably just take a look at that client list and ask yourself, who did you enjoy working with the most? Who stuck with you the longest? Who paid you the most money? Who gave you the least amount of headaches? Who did you get the best results for? And isolate those clients and then ask yourself, what did they all have in common? And that'll help you to fill out the details that I'm about to walk you through on this spreadsheet so that you can go over and start to attract more people like that and start purposefully turning away clients who might not fit that criteria. Okay, and then move your business in the direction of only working with clients who fit this ideal client profile that you develop for your business. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to do after opening the link to the spreadsheet is to either download it or make a copy of it so that you can use it for your own business. Now, at the very top here is just some basic information to help clarify how you want to be positioned in your market and in your industry before we dig into the details of who we're trying to attract as a client. So you're just going to put some basic information up here, like describing what it is that you sell, your core offer, your main product or service. What is the outcome that product or service helps your client to achieve? What are some of the benefits to them of achieving that outcome? And what are some of the pains or frustrations that you help them to avoid by investing in your product or service? So again, this is just meant some high-level overview stuff just because it's useful for making sure that any content we create, any campaigns we're launching, stay within alignment of how we want to be positioned and to attract people who fit this criteria. And so in terms of the criteria, the next section on the template is demographics. And so these are some basic filters. This is especially useful if you do paid advertising because you can input some of the stuff in your targeting, but it's still useful to have even if you're not doing paid advertising. So we're just going to input some of the criteria that we look for in the person that we sell to. So that might be their age range, gender if that's important, some of the platforms that they spend their time on, that can go here. Locations where they live, that might be by city, state, province, country, etc. Any specific job titles they might have, what their annual income range might be, level of education, and then any other qualifiers or disqualifiers you can think of, you can type those in here. Now, if the person you're selling to is a business owner or works for a business and is making buying from you on behalf of the business that they work for, then you can fill in this section, which is called the Firmographics. And so this is just some of the criteria about the business itself. So the specific industry, where the business might be located, how many employees they have, what type of organization they are, whether they're, they could be nonprofit, for-profit, government organization, private business, public company, etc. You can put that in there. If they have a certain range of revenue that you can get the best results for them in, you would put that in here, and any other criteria you can think of for the business itself. Now, if you're not selling to business owners or people who are buying on behalf of the business they work for, you can just go ahead and delete this, delete these three rows from your template. The next section is information sources. And so if they're trying to solve their problem, if they're trying to get a specific outcome that your product or service can help them get, where might they already be learning about how to accomplish that outcome? Are there specific influencers or personal brands in your industry? Think of the authors, speakers, social media influencers, etc., who create content that those people consume. If so, you can put the names of those influencers in this column here. Are there any specific media publications? It might be traditional media like magazines, but you could also put in podcasts, YouTube channels, put those in here. If there's any specific groups, communities, or industry associations that they're a member of, you can put those in here. If there are any events or conferences that they are likely to attend, whether online or in person, you can put those here. If there's any specific products or software that they've already purchased and that they're using to help them achieve their desired results, put those in here. And then if there's any competitors that they might be learning from or considering buying from, you can put those competitors in here. So again, we're just trying to capture some of the main places they might already be getting information. And this actually becomes a really good source of content ideas and market research to have to have a list of things that you can take a look at for each of these categories. Now there's room for 10. If you want to add more than that, just add more rows to the spreadsheet. The next section of the template are the psychographics. Psychographics are what motivate people to invest in solving their problem. And so people are typically motivated by getting away from things they don't like or moving towards things that they do like. And so the things that they don't like would be their frustrations and their fears. Okay, frustrations are tangible, things that they're dealing with in the present. Fears are imagined, things that could go wrong or that they worry about going wrong, usually in the future. So the better understanding you have of the pains that they're trying to get away from, the more you can tap into that when you're creating content or writing copy for your marketing campaigns. And then over here, the things that they're moving towards. Goals are like tangible achievements they're trying to accomplish. So those are usually measurable. A goal is measurable. And an aspiration is something they want to be. And so it's not necessarily as measurable, but it's more of like an identity they're trying to step into. So for example, if somebody's trying to become a more confident public speaker, that's an example of an aspiration. If somebody's trying to get booked to speak at conferences in their industry, that's a specific goal that's measurable. I hope that makes sense. The next section is belief shifting. So this is really, really important because we want our content and our marketing to do a lot of the heavy lifting for us so that selling isn't hard. And so for selling to be easy, we have to have done some belief shifting up front so that we don't have to do it when we're having sales conversation. And so false beliefs are things that they believe to be true that are holding them back from achieving their desired outcome. And a required belief is typically the inverse of a false one. So a false belief might be, I'll use the example of public speaking training again because I'm familiar with that market. But a common belief in the world of public speaking is that people think that public speaking is like a natural talent that people have. It's a natural charisma. It can't be learned. And so the inverse of that belief would be that public speaking is a learnable skill. Anyone can become a confident public speaker, not just those who are naturally charismatic or extroverted. So that's a belief we would need them to have for them to have the confidence to invest in public speaking training. And then objections, these are things that typically come up in a sales conversation. So think of the last sales conversations you had. You've sent out proposals, you did consultations, etc. What were some of the things that stopped somebody from buying? List those here. And then and then over here, you're going to type in how you would respond to that specific objection. The next section of the worksheet are hashtags and search terms. So when it comes to people searching for information online, whether on social media or through search engines, what are some of the hashtags they might be using on social media to find those conversations related to your industry or your business? And what are some of the terms they might be searching for as they're educating themselves or as they're looking for a solution to their problem? You can type those in here. And then lastly, the last section of the worksheet is your chance to actually give some real examples of people who fit the criteria. So if you've worked with some of these clients in the past, you could link to their social media profile, such as a Facebook profile or a LinkedIn profile as an example. And if you don't have a lot of past clients who fit this ideal client profile, then just go out and find some people who look like they do and link to them here so that there's some tangible examples. So hopefully this was helpful for you. And again, if you haven't downloaded the template and you want to use it, the link to it is in the description section below this video. Be prepared to spend a couple of hours on this, but I promise you it's worth it if you really dig in deep here and put as much information as you can on this spreadsheet. It's going to help you to make better decisions and empower the people that you work with and who are helping you to grow your business. It'll empower them to make better decisions and to be more effective with your marketing and with your sales process, because you'll be creating things that are designed to attract and acquire people who fit this criteria. And you'll know if somebody doesn't fit the criteria. You'll be able to turn them away and be like, you know what? We don't think we're the best solution for you. And that's a good thing, right? You're not meant to help everyone. And if you try to help everyone and you take on clients that don't fit your ideal client profile, you can end up with quite a few headaches on your hand of dealing with people who are difficult to work with, are from industries you don't have a lot of experience with. You're struggling to get them results. They're having a negative experience. It's just kind of this really negative spiral effect that happens if you say yes to clients who don't fit the criteria of an ideal client for your specific business. If you have any questions or feedback for me, please leave a comment below this video. And if you've been enjoying my videos, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel, turn the notifications on. That way you'll catch my new videos as they get published.